Coming up on Mountain News this morning, new Israeli airstrikes in Gaza over the weekend are testing a delicate ceasefire with Hamas. And the Trump administration is touting progress on its peace proposal to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Welcome to Mountain News this morning. I'm McKinley Calandrino here with you on this Monday, November 24th. The time is now 6 o'clock. Now let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dismal for a look at your forecast this morning.
Well, McKinley, it is a little bit of a foggy start to your day as you're beginning the week. We're talking a dense fog advisory for most folks in the WYMT viewing area from Wayne County, Kentucky to Wayne County, West Virginia. And even those counties that are not highlighted in gray are still watching patchy fog this morning. So just keep that in mind as you're beginning your day. Now, in terms of rain chances, thankfully not dealing with any of that. So it's a calm start to your week. But there are chances of rain picking up tonight, which will continue into some storm chances heading into your Tuesday. Before we get there, though, we have to deal with some chilly temperatures this morning in a mixture of the 30s with high temperatures for the day in the mid-60s. Definitely going to be a warmer afternoon ahead. McKinley.
All right, thanks, Megan. Kentucky State Police are investigating a deadly shooting in Floyd County. Troopers were called by Prestonsburg 911 to the Beaver community Friday to reports of an unresponsive woman. Investigators say they found 35-year-old Sarah Sloan dead in a home off of Kentucky 979. KSP said she had gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead on the scene by Floyd County coroner. Her body has been sent to the state medical examiner for an autopsy. Corbin police have recovered 3 stolen vehicles. Police believe this person was involved in at least 2 of the thefts, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. The vehicles have been recovered and 2 people, a man and a juvenile, are in custody. Police also recovered a 3rd stolen vehicle out of Laurel County. Police encourage you to lock your vehicles, especially at night. New Israeli airstrikes in Gaza over the weekend are testing a delicate ceasefire with Hamas that is now a little more than a month old. The Hamas-run health ministry reported at least 24 people were killed and dozens more wounded, including children, after new Israeli airstrikes. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin accused Hamas of repeating violating the ceasefire and said Israel will continue to act independently.
Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East.
Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon have increased in recent weeks as the U.S. and Israel pressure the Lebanese government to disarm Hezbollah. The Trump administration is touting progress on its peace proposal to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine after holding highly productive talks in Switzerland. Today, European leaders are meeting to discuss the peace plan, but as the U.S. looks to wind down the Russia-Ukraine war, it's also ratcheting up the pressure of Venezuela. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
The White House says talks between U.S. and Ukrainian officials in Geneva over the weekend have led to an updated and refined peace proposal to end Russia's war on Ukraine.
I think we made a tremendous amount of progress. There's still some work to be done.
Sources familiar say there are also discussions for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to possibly return to Washington this week, ahead of President Trump's Thanksgiving deadline for Ukraine's response to the peace plan, though the president has hinted that date is not set in stone.
We'd like to get the peace.
Earlier Sunday, President Trump had claimed that the war in Ukraine wouldn't have happened, quote, with strong and proper U.S. and Ukrainian leadership, adding that Ukraine has expressed zero gratitude. Congressional Democrats have slammed the peace plan, which originally called for Ukraine to cede territory and shrink its military.
That is a very good deal for Russia. It is a horrible deal for Ukraine, for our allies, and even for our own national security.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration is ramping up pressure on Venezuela, now officially designating a cartel it says is tied to leader Nicolas Maduro as a terror organization. The Air Force is also sharing images of B-52 bombers simulating a nighttime attack along the country's coast. This is a new CBS News poll shows that 70% of Americans oppose taking military action in Venezuela. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Today, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, is expected to meet with U.S. service members in Puerto Rico and sailors at the sea to thank them for their support of the mission near South Africa. Lawmakers are condemning President Trump's social media post accusing 6 Democratic lawmakers of sedition, punishable by death. The president's comments came in response to the video from the lawmakers with military and national security backgrounds, with a message to concerned members of the military that they do not have to follow unlawful orders. The White House clarified that President Trump doesn't want to see lawmakers executed, but criticized the video. Some Republican leaders have tried to downplay the president's response, but others say it was inappropriate.
I don't think it's a good idea to talk about jailing your political opponents or hanging them or whatever else.
The Senate Minority Leader called on Capitol Police to give a special protection to lawmakers involved. In a surprise announcement late Friday, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said she is resigning from Congress in January. The Georgia Republican, who was once a loyal supporter of President Trump, revealed her plan in more than 10-minute video posted online. In explaining her decision, Greene said she, quote, always has been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in. Greene's resignation follows a public falling out with President Trump in recent months.
I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
Greene has criticized the president for his stance on files related to Jeffrey Epstein, along with foreign policy and health care. In turn, Trump called her a traitor and wacky and said he would endorse a challenger against Greene when she was set to run for re-election next year. Greene says her last day in Congress would be January 5th. New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani met with President Trump at the White House Friday afternoon. The president has been highly critical of Mamdani throughout the election, calling him a communist and a nut job. Mamdani and Trump have both indicated that Friday's meeting was friendly and went well. This weekend, Mamdani told NBC News that it was okay to have political disagreements, but that he hasn't changed his fundamental views about Trump. The Trump administration says the economy is getting back on track after a long-awaited jobs report was released. September numbers were delayed due to the government shutdown, but a Thursday report soundly beat economics expectations. WYMT Washington correspondent Brennan Kohlert has the message from the White House.
The White House says creating 119,000 jobs in September is a sign things are moving in the right direction. But economic experts say this jobs report also shows cracks in the U.S. economy. Following a string of election wins in November, Democrats say they can ride an affordability message in the midterm elections. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the latest jobs report shows President Donald Trump's economy is working.
These gains came after the summer passage of President Trump's historic tax cuts and multiple big trade deals with countries around the world.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says the report also showed a labor market with problems. Revisions decreased the job totals for July and August, showing the economy actually lost jobs in August.
That is something that's extraordinary, and that's not a positive. The last times that happened was during the pandemic year of 2020 and coming out of the great financial crisis in 2010.
Levitt pointed out wages outpaced inflation year over year, meaning Americans' paychecks went farther.
And wages are up by 3.8% over the year for American workers because of President Trump's pro-growth policies.
Hamrick says the wage gains are great, but it is troubling that only a few sectors are showing signs of growth at all.
Look beneath the surface here, and you see relatively few sectors exhibiting robust jobs creation. You see a familiar theme with healthcare, which is 1/5 of the U.S. economy, as well as social assistance. That's not the groundwork upon which you build a strong job market on social assistance.
The Trump administration says there will not be a full jobs report for October. Partial October data will be added to the November report. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
It's a chilly start to your day, so don't forget that jacket. But you don't need everything with you. You don't need those gloves and the scarves, because we're just looking at some upper 30s, low 40s across the region. It is a little bit chillier as you travel more towards the north at that freezing mark, 32 degrees in Moorhead. But by the time we head into the afternoon, we're going to see above average temperatures, really sitting in a mixture of the mid 60s, so not too bad, with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We do see a slight chance for some showers picking up late tonight, heading into your Tuesday morning. But again, nice and clear throughout your daytime hours. Current look at satellite radar is nice and dry. McKinley.
Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Not many people can say they've helped decorate the White House, but we'll introduce you to a lady getting the chance.